Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Time!
Three on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game!
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Float game for the win! Ayler's gone. Goodbye. Touchdown, Indy. Woo! IU. America. They got a football team now.
Pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, here's Jim Coyle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you on this Tuesday. Appreciate you being with us. Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Jim Coyle with you. And always visit by our good friend Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News and the Big Ten Network. How are you, sir?
I am well. How are you?
I'm fine. How are things over in Pittsburgh? Our friend, he moved back over to Pittsburgh when did you move back over there?
It's almost been 2 years now.
Really?
It was right after the 2024 Final Four.
Wow. How much fun has it been being back in your neck of the woods?
It's been great. It actually it wasn't really planned this way, but the house we bought is literally 2.5 miles from where my brother lives. So that's been very nice. And my family, of both my wife's and my family, I have 4 siblings. She has 2 living. And of all them combined, only one of them lives out of the area. He and his family live in North Carolina. So that's it. Everybody else is here. So it's been great. My sister, in fact, lived in Carolina. She and her husband retired down there, and then one of their sons moved to here for a job, and they had a baby. He's going to be 2 in May, and soon as that happened, my sister was back.
Doesn't take much. Well, it's always fun to be home no matter what. And Pittsburgh, what a great town, man. It's one of the greatest sports towns in the country.
I'll tell you this. I say this all the time, that if you're a fan of another baseball team aside from the Pirates and you want to have a great weekend baseball trip, well, that's true too. But if you want to have a great
I'm a Reds fan. What am I saying?
Well, that could, we have gone to a few Reds games here, but what I was going to say is that if you want a great weekend baseball trip, if your team happens to be in town, or maybe you can take a couple days off, they happen to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. It's a wonderful place to spend 3-4 days and take in 2-3 ball games. It's one of the best baseball parks in America. Maybe if you don't face Paul Skeens, you got a better than average chance for your guys to win. And it really is a great place to spend a few days. Obviously, I think it's a great place to spend more than that, but I highly recommend it to visitors to come in and go to a ball game there. The baseball park is just beautiful.
Yeah, and I've been a lot of places, fortunately, a lot of cities, a lot of towns, a lot of states. I have not been to Pittsburgh.
Well, there you go, Mr. Reds fan. Let's get it over here.
I've been to Butler. As a matter of fact, I had a rodeo there. I think it was at the grounds where Trump's deal took place.
Wow.
In Butler. Because when I was watching it, I was like, I think that's where we were. That's crazy. But yeah, fun stuff, man. Life takes you all around. Hey, basketball, Michigan, likely the number 1 team while they're sitting there as Arizona took that loss. But I think that they might be the best team in the country, period, right now.
I'll tell you what they have that I really like is, first of all, they have a terrific starting lineup. I'm still in terms of the ability to be a championship point guard, I still want to see more from Elliot Cadeau. I still want to see more consistency, more direction. But he has shown me more than I was worried that he had. He has played well, don't get me wrong, but in terms of winning it. But what I think they have, if not a championship point guard, is the deepest point guard position in college basketball, because I think LJ Kaysen is terrific. I think he is outstanding. And you saw that a week ago when Elliott was playing very poorly. The rest of the Wolverines were following along at Northwestern. They fell into a double-digit hole. I don't know what the number got to, but it was it was well into the teens. And he just Dusty May just said, "Okay, I got another guy," and he played LJ Kaysen the rest of the game. I think Elliott sat there again, double-digit minutes watching LJ play, and LJ just took the game over, and he and Yexel Lendeborg carried them to victory. And to be able to have that, as well as Trey McKinney coming off the bench, you wonder, like, everybody's got to have pros, right? We've talked about this a lot. And not only do they have Yexel Lendeborg, who will be a first-round pick, but I think Trey McKinney will be at a future date as well. I'd be surprised if he went into this year's draft because it's so deep, and because if he remains in college, he goes from one of the deepest drafts in NBA history to a draft that will be borderline bereft, depending on what's coming from Europe. I mean, there'll still be some good players here, but not like this. And so I would think that Trey McKinney would stick around for another year. I think that'd be the prudent move. But having those two guys coming off the bench, and then Roddy Gale as well. I mean, who's got that bench? That bench, give him a couple of front court guys, and they'd be a top 25 team. That group would be. That's a heck of a bench.
They've got a heck of a team. I love their team. I really do. And I love what he's got going there. I just think that they're fun to watch. And I call him Lunder Cyborg. That dude, he is just, wow. You look at him like, okay. I'm like, yeah, that's whatever you want to do, man. Tough to guard, but fun. And college basketball just fun. The Big 12. How about the Big 12? The Big 12 is, I love, second year in a row, football, basketball. The Big 12 is like, yeah, there's no such thing as the Big 2. It's not the SEC and the Big 10, baby. The Big 12 does not allow that to happen, because every year, both football and basketball, they've got teams to reckon with.
Well, it's a outstanding college basketball conference, especially at the top. I think the difference between the Big 10, SEC, and the Big 12 is that the Big 12's top 5 teams can play with anybody's. And maybe, like, if you match the Big 10's top 5 against the Big 12's top 5 against the SEC's top 5 and say, take your pick, I would be leaning toward picking the Big 12s. I would rank it probably Big 12, Big 10, SEC in terms of their top 5. Where the Big 10 and the SEC have an advantage is that it doesn't thin out as quickly. You get down to around 8, 9, 10 in the Big 12, and it gets pretty lean. Whereas in the Big 10, you're looking at teams like UCLA and Indiana, teams like that, and they're much more proficient than what you have seen from the Big 12. This is not a Big 10. Excuse me. This is not a Big 12 is facing the top. Big 12 medium bottom is facing the top of the Big 12 problem, because everybody, like I said, everybody's kind of got that, especially the Big 12 and the Big 10. This is it's not that great. I mean, Oklahoma State, not that great. West Virginia, not that great. That's even UCF starting to show some signs that they're not special. So I think that's the difference between the three leagues. And the ACC, I think the ACC has a bigger drop off between its first team and second team than pretty much anybody. among the majors, and then a even bigger drop after the second or third team. I don't know if you watched the Ohio State game against Virginia on Saturday night, but on a neutral floor, Ohio State, which is playing for its life, they absolutely controlled the game for almost the entirety. And Virginia has a very fine defense, and they were able to clog things up and slow down the Buckeyes at the end and win the game. But you're talking about a 4 seed versus an out team. That's the difference between the Big Ten and the ACC right now.
Uncle Phil wants to know, what is your Big Ten Player of the Year top 5 in order?
Wow. I was just thinking about that when I was watching the Wisconsin game against Michigan State the other night. And
how about Wisconsin? They're on a little tear, huh?
Yeah. So right away I'm thinking, okay, who's your starting 5 on the all Big Ten first team? You got Nick Boyd has got to be there, right? And Yexel, who we talked about, has got to be there. And Jeremy Fears is probably there. And then you've got Braden leading the world in assists. And then who's the 5th?
Lamar Wilkerson. How does it not be him?
There you go. I mean, the way he's playing, I think that's a fair assessment. But it's not easy to pick that team because there are a lot of terrific players, and obviously, as I said, a lot of outstanding teams. I thought at one point that Rink Mast would be on that team. Bennett Sturts did not have a great weekend. And Iowa has struggled against the better teams in the league, so I'm not sure that he would make it. But then wait. We forgot one. We forgot Illinois point guard. I'm giving you the opening, but you're not going to take it. Keaton Wagler. I'm gonna say that there's your 6 guys. It's hard to narrow that down. There's Uncle Phil. There he goes. He's got it. Keaton Wagler. That's 6 guys for 5 spots. I'm not a big these days position person. I don't like the fact that the all NBA teams do that, because I'm a believer that it should be who's the 5 best guys. If your league's got 5 great point guards, and this league does, it could be all 5 point guards. And our team has 1, 2, 3, 4 guys who play that position. If we had a 6-man team, then Wilkerson and Yaxel are the only players who are not point guards.
I doubt that they'll do that. It'll be interesting to see how it winds up, though. But and Wilkerson not on as winning of a team, so that generally affects you.
It does, and I'll say this. I mean, this is where he has to. 2 things. One, he has to continue to play. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to continue to score 28 points a game, but he has to score somewhere in that level for them to win the games, to assure that they get in. And if he does that, then he makes the choice really hard. I mean, if he's, like I said, I don't expect him to go out and average 28 over another 5-game stretch. But if he's averaging 23 or 24, and that puts his Big Ten season average will be well over 20 at that point. It's hard to leave him off at that point, because then he'll have done the work to put Indiana in the Big Ten. Indiana in the NCAAs.
Brian says that Nick Martinelli's at 22 points a game, while Wilkerson is just at 21. That's amazing.
Well, Nick's a terrific player and a great scorer, but there's a big difference between those 2 players. One of them is playing on a team that is fighting for an NCAA tournament spot, and the other's on a team that is struggling to win a game.
Yeah, and I agree with that. The Big Ten right now, looking at what I think 10 teams getting in.
What I have, yes.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I think Ohio State is going to be the odd man out, but they have a chance to fight for that last spot. And Indiana ends the season at Ohio State. I don't think a loss to them was going to kick them out. I don't think that Indiana can do much, to be honest with you. I think that they're pretty much stuck as a 10, and I think that they are better off as a 10 seed than moving up to a 9. They'd have to knock off – I think they'd have to knock off Michigan State to even have a chance of moving up to the 9, which you don't want that. Stay at the 10.
That's true. Although there's not a huge difference between the 1s and the 2s this year. The 2s are pretty stout.
Yeah, definitely. And for Indiana, you're hoping to get the lower end of the 2s, right. And or maybe drop to an 11 and get the seriously, you're better off.
You're threading a very thin line there. Remember, there's only 2 spots on the 11 line, as I have it structured, and as I think most others do. There's only 2 spots on the 11 line that don't require you to play an extra game. So that's a really thin line you're threading. You're right. It is. If you could sign up for that, okay, I'm going to be the standalone 11. Absolutely. Because there is a difference between the 2s and the 3s. The 3s are great, but they're not extraordinary, elite, whatever. They can be on a given day. I mean, I think if you look at it, like I have Kansas as a 3 this time around, and I have Illinois as a 3, which obviously Indiana wouldn't play. But Vanderbilt, I think you'd take that. I mean, Vandy's really good, but I think you'd feel good about that. And then Nebraska, of course, again, they couldn't play them. But there is a difference between those 2s and 3s right now. And so, yeah, I get your point, but it is a very
well, Indiana has shown that they can play with Nebraska and Purdue. Now, both of those games were at home. We'll soon see what it's like on the road for Indiana at West Lafayette as they travel there next. Right. The trip to Illinois was not good for them. They do not match up well with Illinois, and a lot of teams don't because of what they have. They are strong. Illinois is a team that I think that, hey, I don't want to call them a dark horse because you can't. They're too good. But they're a Final Four capable team without question.
Yeah, they could win it. I mean, they're good enough, especially if now that Kylan Boswell's back, if they have time to get him back into it. They need Stojakovic as well for the depth and for what he can bring attacking the rim from the wing. But at full strength, they could win it. And why can they win it? Because they've got size. They can protect the rim. They've got attacking wings. They've got shooting. They've got a point guard who runs the show. They've got a pro who happens to be the point guard. They've got everything that you want to have right now. I still think they need to be a little bit more effective, a little bit more efficient. If you look at it, they still have some improvement that they could do at the defensive end. They are only 28th in the country. They'll need to amp that up a little bit. But it's sort of like a chicken egg kind of thing with that. If they win the games that they need to win to get to the Final Four, they'll obviously have to play good enough defense to do that. If they play good enough defense, then maybe they'll win the games that they need to get to the Final Four. So I certainly they can improve at that end, and I think Boswell's return makes a difference in that regard. They were not defending the backcourt well while he was absent.
Yeah, and it's going to be a huge, huge night in the Big Ten tonight. We'll talk about that when we come back. We've got Mike DeCourcy with us from the Sporting News. Glad to be along. Jim Coyle with you. Back with more right after these messages.
Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemoreSells@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Bored, Bloomington? Dave & Buster's can fix that. Eat and drink your way through our all-new menu. Play half-price games every Sunday through Thursday. Watch all your team's wins on a 40-foot screen and 30 HD TVs. And level up with the high-flying human crane that puts you in the game. Private game suites, our exclusive arena, and more. Only at Dave & Buster's on 731 South College Mall Road.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Tuesday. Glad to be with you. As always, glad to have you along, and Mike DeCourcy with me as well. Michigan, #1 now. For the first time in 13 years, Mike, Dusty May has done what we saw him doing from the minute he got there. One question I have, they received 60 of 61 votes. Who in the hell? I mean, seriously, how do you not vote Michigan #1? I didn't look it up. I'm not even going to bother. I don't care that much. I'm just shaking my head. I laugh when that stuff happens. That other vote went to Houston, which, yeah, they're a good team. They're not better than Michigan, I don't think. But that's what gets decided on the floor, and it will tonight, Mike, in a beatdown of a schedule in the Big Ten. Man, there are some great games, but none better than the #1 Michigan Wolverines traveling to West Lafayette to take on Purdue. Purdue has been playing well. They had dropped. They just weren't playing well. Indiana beat them, and they took a bunch of losses, or not a bunch, but they took some losses. They're back to playing a lot better right now. They go down to Nebraska and they get that win.
Yep.
But this is a huge game in the Big Ten.
It is, and it's really compelling because it's Michigan having to go to Purdue. I think that electrifies it a little bit. Not that Chrysler isn't great when that place is invested and they are fully invested. They were during the Beeline years, and now it's back in that glory. And so it's not about that. It's that Michigan has to face this challenge on the road. And I would not feel great about Purdue's chances if they were going to Michigan in this circumstance. Purdue needs this game to be at home right now, and they've got it. And I think that makes it really compelling. And I'll be very interested to see how Purdue is able to defend the size. Not that Purdue doesn't have size, but I'm talking specifically on the wing against Lendeborg. That to me, he's the matchup in every Michigan game that the opposition has to worry about. I mean, Mara and Merez Johnson present exceptional challenges, but Purdue has big bodies that can cope with that in not every play, but on most of the time they can dictate some things. They've got that, but how do you play against Lendeborg? Very few teams have a 6'9", 240-pound small forward, Jim. It just doesn't happen that much. And so it also, I've kept thinking that the one challenge that I want to see Michigan conquer is a team with a dynamic small forward, that's complete, but also that's a part of it. I mean, like Indiana is not a complete team They have a dynamic small forward, but they're not a complete team. So the challenges can be mitigated. You can let Lamarck Wilkerson score 25 and still defeat them if you do other things right. But what if that team brings everything? Well, Purdue doesn't really have that player to go out and test Lindeborg at the defensive end. And so that, from that standpoint, Purdue doesn't have an advantage perhaps, but they can do other things, and Braden can cause a lot of problems for Cadeau at the point with his ability to orchestrate the game. One of the things that I've noticed, Jim, is that there are in January, as teams started to defend Purdue differently, they basically tried to take away the pass from Braden, and Purdue was at first saying, okay, he can go score 25, and he did. And they won a few like that, but eventually it started to become more difficult. And Braden was still scoring or still shooting, but the rest of that, the thing that makes Purdue extraordinary, the ball movement and his ability to see things happening, started to get mitigated a little bit. And they got off track. And he was getting decent scoring numbers, but very, by his standards, meager assist numbers. And they weren't as successful. Now they're back to being able to dictate with him at the point, with him running the show, and they're back to winning. One stat that I there's a chicken egg thing here too, but when he gets double digit assists, they're 11-1, and I think that one thing that Matt Painter would say is, well, part of it's because he's passing and we're making baskets. So that follows that we're going to have a great record. But I do think there's something about him being a pass first guy. And this was never about selfishness. It was just about taking advantage of what the defense was giving you. But I think that allowed them to get a little bit away from what makes them great. And now they're back to it. They were exceptional at Nebraska, even though it took overtime. They put Nebraska way down. And then they just destroyed Iowa on the road. An Iowa team that had great metrics, Ken Palm and all that, and had a beautiful record coming into last week. But they started to face the stronger challenges in the league, and they have not excelled in those challenges.
Well, and there's some other good games as well. Wisconsin has to travel to Ohio State. They've been on a heater, but they're going down to play Ohio State, who is, they're not in they're kind of desperate. Every game is a desperate game for them. They're in that land right now.
Yeah. But Ohio, one of the things that I try to tell people, and I always joke with Dave Revson when I'm on BTN with him, especially at Saturday. It was February 14th. And I said, you know what today is, when we started our pregame show on Saturday, I said, you know what today is, don't you, Dave? And he said, yes. I said, yes, it's not Valentine's Day. It's the start of the bubble. The bubble starts now. When people say teams are on the bubble in January, it's not. Because if you're a certain team can completely redefine its season in the time that remains. You could go out and go 10-2, you're not anywhere near the bubble. If you are on the bubble, if you are not fully in the field, clearly in the field, like somebody that's a 7 or 8 seed, when you're a 7 or 8 seed, what do you got? 15, 16 teams behind you. If you're not there and your games start to dwindle, your opportunities to get yourself into that position are dwindling. That's why Ohio State is about as bubbly a team as we have in college basketball, because missing the opportunity on Saturday night against Virginia on a neutral floor, a game in which they led for most of the time, missing that opportunity just shrinks it that much more. And so now you got Wisconsin at home, and you got Indiana at home later, and there's some difficult games in between there. They have some more challenges, and some of them are probably a little bit out of reach for them. I mean, they have to go to Michigan State and Iowa, and they have Purdue at home. So this game tonight is just enormous for the Buckeyes. If they lose this one, I mean, the dream starts to slip further and further out of sight. And you could say, well, what they would have to do then is win like 4 of their final 5 or something like that. But they've never shown they're capable of that. They've shown they're capable of beating North Carolina. They just didn't do it. They've shown they're capable of beating Virginia. They just didn't do it. They've shown this over and over. And the only NCAA tournament team they've defeated so far is USC at home, which they did a week ago. And that's why they have to take some inspiration from that and apply it to Wisconsin. But you've seen Wisconsin lately. You saw what they did Friday night to Michigan State. That'll be a heck of a challenge for the Buckeyes tonight.
Absolutely. Wisconsin, like I said, I mentioned they're one of the teams that they're on a heater, man. They are rising at the right time, no less. And then UCLA goes into Michigan State. Can't wait to hear what Mick Cronin's going to cry about after that game. Comes, I'm sure it'll be something. But Nebraska goes to Iowa. There's that's another interesting game. There's some great games on the Big Ten docket tonight. I mean, man, Nebraska is pretty damn good, but Iowa also, this is a great opportunity for the Hawkeyes.
Well, if Iowa has to look at it like if they don't get this one done, that'd be the second big opponent they had in their gym in a row. If they don't get that done, then they're basically 8, 9, 10 and never getting out of there. And not without the possibility they continue to lose, that they could fall out of the field. But if they get this one, the question about them getting in is ended, and then it's just a question of can they get a decent seed? Can they get out of the 8-9 game? I think their metrics are really good, but their record is not. They don't have the achievement that would be necessary to get out of the 8-9 range. They've been hanging around 8-9 for me almost the entire time I've been doing the brackets, just waiting. Okay, when you play Purdue, how do you do? Not very well. Okay, now we'll give you Nebraska. How do you do tonight? I think that's a really interesting question for them.
Yeah, just so many good games on the slate. Minnesota and Oregon, baby, the 2 last worst teams in the league. But you know what? I bet you that ends up being a hell of a game. I'm serious, because Minnesota plays hard.
Yes.
Oregon, it's Oregon. They're at home.
They've played better lately because of Nate Biddle returning. They're still injured. Jackson Shellstad hasn't played in a while. Biddle's returned. He's been very good since he returned. They played much better. They nearly beat Purdue. Then they didn't play as well in the second game, but then they won over the weekend. So there's some life there. I don't know where it takes them, but they could finish the season on an attractive note, let's say, rather than just continue to play toward the bottom of the league.
Yeah, and Indiana, I think that I said this before and I'll say it again. They just have to play par golf the rest of the year. Their metrics are they're like in the top 35 with KenPom and the net rankings and virtually everything. So that puts them, if you do the math, it puts them at the 9-10 seed area. And it is what it is. And there's just nothing that's going to change greatly. So they're kind of locked into that little slot.
I think that what could change for them is if they take all their home games and then they win the Ohio State game on the road. So I'm not asking them to do anything that they kind of haven't done before. They've beaten Purdue at home. They could beat Michigan State at home. They certainly have every reason to believe they would beat Northwestern and Minnesota at home. So even if they did not win Friday against Purdue, if they could take the next 3 and then go into Ohio State on the last day, again, I mean, you're right.
Well, what's the reward? What's the reward?
If they would probably be playing in an 8-9 game. Yes, probably.
Yes.
More than
want that.
Yeah. So, but the reward is you play to win the game, I guess. And
yeah,
it is. You're right. It is. There is a lot of value in finishing in that 11 or 10 area. But hey, one thing that you can say is you don't want to leave any questions. Because sometimes
you don't want to leave it in somebody else's hands.
Yeah, the committee very rarely misses, Jim, But there is
Bubba Cunningham still on the committee?
No, I think he's done. So that'll make you feel better. But you don't have to worry because Caroline is solidly in, so you don't have to worry about that. But the committee misses about one team a year. It makes a strange choice with about one team a year, because like every year that I can remember, there is a team that everybody that does this, what I do for Fox, people who do it, like Delphi Bracketology, our friends from there, they do it and they do it well. What Joe does at ESPN, etc. All of us together will have one team, we'll be weighted toward one team, and the committee picks another. It's happened almost every year. A year ago, it was West Virginia that nearly the entire bracket matrix had in. They did not get in. Carolina Blue, with the chairman of the selection committee, not expected to get in, but they did get in. So it's usually about one a year. So what I'm saying about the reason I bring that up is if you're Indiana, you don't want to be anywhere near that possibility. You want to win, get yourself away from that, even if it puts you in an 8-9 game. Take your best shot. Indiana's not winning the national championship this year in both football and basketball this year. They've already got a pretty good trophy that they won a month ago. But if you get the experience of playing in the NCAA tournament and you get that experience of even playing a 1 seed, you can continue to establish what you want your program to be. And I think that's really what's important about this season. And so far, at a point when they easily could have gone in what is now the Ohio State direction, they took themselves back from that, went out and beat Purdue, went out to the West Coast and beat UCLA, and showed that they're on the right path. They're going to move forward at Indiana. They've got an idea, they've got a style, they've got a coach, and now they just have to get some more talent in the next year or two.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. That the Indiana team just making the tournament when you've only made the tournament 2 out of the last 9 years. Yeah, making the tournament is a big freaking deal. And it's embarrassing to say that about.
I would not have. If you'd asked me how many, I would not have guessed that. I will say
it's unbelievable. It is truly embarrassing for a program like that. They should be embarrassed. I mean, it is embarrassing, and there's no reason for it. But looks like they have it turned in the right direction. They just have to continue to build on that. But yeah, making the tournament. I don't care if it is a 9, 10, or 11 seed. It's an accomplishment because they haven't done it, which is a sad case. But well, I need to take a break. I've only got a few minutes left in the hour. Can you hang it for a few more minutes?
I am tied up.
Got to go. Big Ten getting the national championship, getting off that schneid. Boy, a lot of pressure on those teams that are good to do that.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. It's never been something that I've considered to be really. I think it's something that fans of other conferences use against the Big Ten. I've seen how close they've come on so many occasions, and so I don't look at them as a deficient league. I don't think that there have been many occasions in that stretch when they had the best team and didn't win it. They had opportunities. 05 Illinois was great. If they had more size on that team, they would have been the best team, but they didn't have more size. Roger Powell was 6'6". Augustine was 6'8", maybe. And then Augustine got into foul trouble, and then where do they go? And then you look at Michigan in 12, should have won. You saw last night how much difference a blown call can make. That kickball for Houston last night, they were up 8 and were going to have the ball because of Joseph Tugler's great defensive ability. And the ref missed the call, called it a kick, and it went off his hand, and it didn't hit the foot of the other player. So they gave the ball to Houston, and they stick a 3, and all of a sudden it's a different. Excuse me, they gave the ball to Iowa State, stick a 3, and all of a sudden it's a different game. Same thing with Trey Burke blocking Peyton Siva on the break, one of the great defensive plays in NCAA final history, except it was called a foul. So just things happen. I don't know. I know this. Michigan's not going to care about that. If they get there and they're in that 40 minutes, they're not going to care about that. They're going to care about, this is our shot. This is our one shot. We're never going to be this team again. Yaks will be off to the pros. Some of those guys are seniors running out of eligibility. They'll never be that team again. This is their one shot. That's what they're going to care about if they get there. So I don't think that they'll look at it as pressure. I think the league, it's a conversation piece, but to me, it's not a defining thing for anybody that gets there.
Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News and the Big Ten Network. Mike, where can they find your bracket analyst work?
Yeah, the bracket will drop today. I will retweet it, but you can also find it on the Fox Sports socials at CBB on Fox, Instagram, Twitter. It's Facebook. They might have a different handle on one of the others. And I will be on the Big Today program at noon talking about my bracket. And I will be on FS1 tonight on our pregame show at 6 o'clock. Channel 219 on DirecTV. Not sure what it is for everybody else, but FS1. And then, of course, every day I try to produce some content for the Sporting News. At TSN Mike, you can find all of that, or sportingnews.com.
Plenty of content to keep you busy throughout this college basketball season. Mike, thank you, sir, as always.
Thanks,
Greatly
Jim.
appreciate you. We've got more coming up. Jim Coyle back with more right after these messages. Indiana football accomplished what no other team ever has. Big Ten, Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, and CFP national champions. The Hoosiers have etched their name into the history books as the first 16-0 team in the modern era. A limited edition of only 5,000 commemorative national championship footballs has been released. 3 full panels embossed and stamped with every championship logo and fully licensed. Get your piece of history today at NicoSports.com. That's NicoSports.com. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Bored, Bloomington? Dave and Buster's can fix that. Eat and drink your way through our all-new menu. Play half-price games every Sunday through Thursday. Watch all your team's wins on a 40-foot screen and 30 HD TVs. And level all up with the high-flying human crane that puts you in the game. Private game suites, our exclusive arena, and more. Only at Dave & Buster's on 731 South College Mall Road.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Tuesday. Looking forward to JD Campbell joining us today. And I believe Derek Elston will be in Campbell's corner. But appreciate you guys being with us on this Tuesday. I looked out and the snow's gone except for the mounds.
just the mounds around the parking lot. But it's all but gone. The weather's rising, the temperatures are rising, and it's a good thing. I'll go ahead and bring JD in with us. JD, I've only got a couple minutes here before the hour ends and we go to the next one. But how has your week been, man?
Man, it was great. What do you think about my Joe Madden glasses?
They look good to me.
Yeah, I had to get some new ones because these are my Joe Maddens, and people can comment on what they like. I have to wear these when I coach, and then these are the ones my wife likes.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, those are just cleaner looking.
Look, Jim, that says I'm in charge.
That's right. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, man. That's right. It's the feeling. You got to set the tone.
Well,
who are you coaching, by the way?
I'm the JV coach at Bloomington North.
Oh, yes.
I got a new fungo. See?
Oh, fungo bat, people. Oh, yeah.
And I even went out Sunday. By myself. I took a bucket of baseballs, went on the field, and I hit every ball in my bucket to try to practice hitting fungos. That's the kind of dedication I have. I want to be the best.
I've never heard of anybody practicing fungo.
Look,
hitting.
anything I do, and you know this, anything I do,
there you go.
Yes, thank you, Jay Gritty. Everything I do, I want to get there really early. Like there's nothing like the peace and quiet for me of sitting at the press table at Assembly Hall when nobody's there. The madness hasn't begun.
Oh, I can imagine that just because of knowing what is going to happen.
Yes.
Sitting there in that quiet, knowing what it's going to be like in 2 hours or whatever, the unbelievable difference.
For those of you that maybe grew up in the 70s and 80s, look at this bat.
Oh, he's got him a nice Easton bat for those.
The green Easton, and they remodeled the this is the replica of the famous bat that changed college baseball and high school baseball, because now they come out with new designs every year. And before they had the same bat designs for 11 years.
All right, we got to stay on time here, and so I got to take a quick break, and we'll be back with JD Campbell and more after these messages.
Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles, and check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Bored, Bloomington? Dave and Buster's can fix that. Eat and drink your way through our all-new menu. Play half-price games every Sunday through Thursday. Watch all your team's wins on a 40-foot screen and 30 HD TVs. and level up with the high-flying human crane that puts you in the game. Private game suites, our exclusive arena, and more. Only at Dave & Buster's on 731 South College Mall Road.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Tuesday. It's JD Campbell with us in Campbell's Corner. Look at him.
Ignore
Holy
the phone
moly.
call, Derek.
I was going to say, you're calling me. I don't know which one to talk to.
Well,
Look like you just walked straight out of GQ calendar there, Mr. D. Elston.
Come on, man.
Mr. Tipton Tornado.
Man. No, it feels good.
You got to look at you looking all. And I saw JD's got his rings on today, by the way, people.
Listen, JD might have those rings on a little backwards. He's got those. He's got
upside
those.
Down. There you go.
JD. There it is.
Now,
there
are those the two Big Ten Conference Championship rings, JD?
Yes. Of which this man played an unbelievable role on both teams. And people, again, Derek and I actually spent about 20 minutes on the phone when you told me that when we were going to start. And I'm already jazzed. We share so much together, as did every, really with every kid that I was fortunate enough to, be a part of. But Derek, tell the story, because I told you, like I told Corey Barnett, wear your rings. People need to remember just how special that era was.
Let me tell you, if I had those damn rings, I'd have them on a short chain that would come around my chin or something, so you'd have to see them nonstop. But Derek, first of all, I love Derek. Derek, he has always been so great to me, great to the show, and I appreciate you, period. I know you're in Campbell's Corner today, but you've always been great, and he's such a great dude, man. I'm telling you, Derek is one of the great people that you get to meet. And I'm just talking outside of sports. He's just a great dude, and very, very fortunate to know you, and I appreciate you, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that, Jim. And, there's two things here with what we've started with in our conversations. It's one, I hate talking about myself. I hate being the flashy, wear the rings. I've done it a few times. We've been fortunate enough here with the bank where I'm at, Merchants Bank, to go down and get some naming rights to the football stadium. And what an unbelievable,
very apropos. That was a great grab. Very timing.
Yeah. And I've been asked to wear some rings down there, but I don't know, just something about it. It's like, it's a time in my life that was amazing. Obviously, JD and I have stories for days.
Some we can't tell.
Most we can't tell. But I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like if I'm with JD, I'm with a couple certain guys from our group, we'll get together and the stories will flow and it's amazing. But it's one of those things where I just kind of cherish of those are our stories from our time in our locker room. And obviously we'll dip into a couple of those things, but for the most part, it's like, I put those stuff away. I'll get it out. My daughters, they want to see some things when we get talking about Indiana basketball and the jerseys and stuff like that. But I don't like wearing that stuff. I like getting on here and JD and I, like he said, we got on the phone about 20 minutes ago and it was like, I could do that all day because, JD's one of my guys and there's only a select few that really quite understand what we went through and who really get it. Like a lot of people you'll tell these stories to and they just don't get it. They have no idea what we went through or what we were dealing with at the time. And so it's one of those things I like to keep real close knit to myself.
Yeah, and that's why you wore candy stripes at Jordan Hull's wedding. Guys didn't want to show off or do anything like that, did you?
To be honest with you, that was like a spur of the moment. Like, I didn't know we were doing that. I didn't know we were doing that till we got there. But well, Jim, to be honest with you, Jim, a lot of it has to also do with the group of guys that we were. Like, I don't think, and JD, you'll probably be able to back me up, I don't think Will Sheehy knows where those rings are. Like I could almost guarantee you those things are lost. Like,
Yeah,
he has
we
no
could
clue.
we could do a week-long documentary on Will Sheehy stories, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, no
I've
doubt.
actually had him on once, believe it or not. As hard as it is,
Yeah.
he joined me. He's
Well,
a great guy, but he's
best-
just not a big talker.
Yeah.
The best senior day speech of all time. And I think it was like 2 minutes. And do you remember Will's senior day speech, Derek?
I don't. I was overseas at the time.
Oh, that's right. You were at 2 minutes, kind of like his 3-minute press conference that we had.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he was.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't shock me in the slightest.
Yeah, but I want to talk. I want to bring something up. When I first met you, and I said this to you on the phone, you were the last Kelvin Sampson recruit to play for IU, because I met you in the locker room after a big win, and he introduced you and said, "Guys, you had committed."
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember that day, but hey, guys, this is Derek Elston, and he's going to be part of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know there was a lot of upheaval, and the staffs changing, and yet you still in today's day and age, maybe like Trent Sisley did, guys keeping their commitment because they want to be a Hoosier.
Yeah.
But who was in, if I could tell me, because I think we took a big picture of it, who was your freshman recruiting class? I know you and Hulls.
Yep. Me, Jordo.
And our first overseas trip was to Puerto Rico, which was miserable.
Oh my God.
But who was in that group?
So it was me, Jordo, Maurice Creek, who no one had, at least I hadn't gotten eyes on Mo, Christian Watford, who I think at the time was like the one guy that was like, man, I get to play with this guy.
Yeah, he was kind of a name.
Yeah. And then you had Bawa Maniru.
Okay.
And then 2 sleeves, Big Bobby Capo. We call him 2 sleeves. He went to Valpo and just kind of lost his mind. He started wearing sleeves. He got this long hair. It's like, damn, this is what college basketball looks like outside of IU right now.
Hey, he's a fitness freak now.
Oh yeah, I know. I follow him. Yeah, it's funny.
He's in Colorado, and he was a great kid. He was kind of a stretch guy.
Oh yeah.
That you had hoped, but again, the whole thing at the time that I think that was really taxing on everybody mentally is I think, at least from an Indiana perspective, you were expected to come in and be the Fab Five. Every recruiting class was.
It is actually funny, JD, because when we, years later now, and there's times where we get together, certain instances where a core group will get back together and we'll tell those stories. And Tom Pritchard is one to say, when you guys came in, it was Coach Crean saying to that previous crew of like, we're not worried about you anymore. We got Derek coming in. We got Bobby coming in. Like, you guys are old news. These guys are going to take your spots. And so not knowing what we were getting into. And then on top of that, you had whatever it was, 3-4 months of those guys doing open gym, or 2 months, whatever, knowing that that's what was being said behind the scenes. And so, every time you see these guys, it was like, man, he's such a fun guy. Dan is such a fun, Verdell, they're all great guys until you get on the court. And for some reason, it wasn't even basketball. It was like, they wanted to just beat you up. It was like, what are we missing here? And so it's years later that we find out that, Coach Crean was ready to ship those guys off because our group was coming in. And I mean, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. And those guys they did. They made it an easier transition for us. I guess you could say easier, because what we were about to ensue the next 2 years was absolute hell.
Yeah, the Vegas trip was tough. You know,
tough.
we had started off pretty good, and then we got beat by I know Colorado was one of the teams, the other Northern Iowa.
Iowa, yeah.
And people just, you know, when you would lose to a mid-major or a team that wasn't viewed as a Power 5, the state was in flames. You know, it was just that. But, you know, let's go to some better times.
JD Campbell with us right now, just to update everybody, with Derek Elston, the former Indiana great, two-time. Were you on both of the Big Ten championship teams?
I was. I like to, and JD, correct me if I'm wrong, but I still use this. So if I'm wrong, I'll shut it down. But I tell myself, I tell other people I talk to, I'm the only player and coach to win a Big Ten championship. Do you have that?
This century.
This
century.
Okay. All right. And Jim, for you and the archives, was interim head coach for about 2.5 weeks when
IU?
When Crean got let go and they were searching and found Archie.
Yeah.
I was trying to keep it all together. I was trying to keep it intact the best I could.
Is that in the books as such?
I don't know if it's in books, but it's got a little piece in my resume.
Man,
I hit it.
You shouldn't, JD. You should slip that in there for him.
No,
Boy, that just
it was again. People don't understand. Everybody.
That's such a cool story to hear.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody knows this.
Well, everybody wants a pound of flesh.
Yeah.
When that happens, you know what I mean. And I think, and again, coaching changes. Look, you can look at a guy and say, well, he got this, he's that. Coaching changes are brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And you lose a lot of sleep because you don't know what the future holds. And I just think you got to really handle any, you know, a lot of media guys, and I understand they don't have a lot of sympathy for people.
Yeah.
But when you have to look at somebody's family, and especially their children, you want to handle things very sensitively. And, you know, but again, some people handle it one way, some people handle another. But I know, like, Derek's like, okay, you got to make sure the guys are lifting weights. You got to make sure the guys are working out. You got to make sure the guys are going to class. But there's Derek sitting there like, I may be out of work in a week.
Exactly. That's what, yeah. Let me keep these guys intact, but also, I don't know if I have a job in 2 weeks.
Even in my situation, does the coach have somebody, do they want to bring in their own guy?
Yeah.
Because now it's all a matter of trust and developing trust with the head coach is very critical. I always viewed myself, I was like a Secret Service.
Yeah.
Whoever was the coach, I had to protect.
Yeah.
You know, I had to take the bullet. And Derek and I endured a lot of bullets over the years, none bigger than the 2013 Big Ten Media Day that we just talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me give you the story. We're number 1 in the country. Okay. You want a little trivia question? Name the one player that never went to Big Ten Media Day in his career. Can you guess that, Jim?
Jordan Hulse.
Jordan Hulse was Victor Oladipo.
I'm just going crazy, so.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. But on the plane, now Tom was extremely loyal to his seniors and his leaders. And we took a plane the night before Media Day because Coach had a meeting. The Big Ten coaches were meeting, I think, at Morton's there in Chicago. Well, it was my job to take care of the players. And I had Derek, Jordy, Watford, and Zeller on a plane. And I made my assistant, Nate Weekers, drive up. So we had a car to get everybody around.
Yep.
And we landed and our cell phones came up, and Derek, his wonderful mother, put out that, did you tear a meniscus? What was that happened on there?
Yeah. So I had torn my meniscus. Geez, what was that? That was right. So we do the Midnight Madness, and it wasn't like the other tear because I had done it before in high school. This was just more of like, man, I'm not moving as well. I'm guarding Cody, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I just am not moving well. My knee looks like it's pretty filled up. So maybe I tweaked something. There was no pain to it. I mean, I kept going. And then after that, I'm back in Timmy G's office with my mom. And I think it was Dr. Rink or Dr. Allfeld. Somebody put a needle in my knee and said, hey, if we pull this out and it's bloody, we got an issue. And we pulled it out and it was clear fluid. And okay, what's this mean? You might have just tweaked something. Knee kind of blew up again. Let's give it a day or two and let's get back to it. And so they were going to do their own thing. I was kind of out of the loop what was going on. As soon as they drained my knee, I felt perfectly fine. I remember we went to Applebee's. We always went to Applebee's after when my parents were in town. And so I didn't think anything of it. So now jump forward to, I'm here with JD on this plane, and Coach Crean comes back, and I'm thinking, all right, well, this is like one of the, few times that, it wasn't like a stressed out moment. And I got the message probably right before we took off. And I just told Christian, I was sitting in the locker room and I was like, damn, see what they told me I just tore my meniscus. And C was like, are you kidding me? I was devastated. And so we hopped on a plane. And I don't even remember telling my mom. I swear. Don't remember. I don't know who did. Maybe it was me. I've lived 30 lives since then. But Coach Green comes back to the plane. He's like, who did you talk to about your knee? And I said, Christian, right beside me. This is everywhere. Everybody's got this. And I think it was you, JD. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like there was like an investigation into how this got out. And it was like, I don't know, IU Mom 32 or whatever my mom had as a username for Peegs at the time, had been putting it out. I think, JD, I think that's how it went. But
yeah, that was my job.
My mom had spoiled the surprise.
Yeah,
so that was fun.
One of my reconnaissance jobs, because Jim, you know this, how tight-lipped I was, and how we taught the players, hey, you don't tell anybody. And if a guy's injured, don't tell your not the person that's injured's family, but don't call your family, because the parents, everybody's pretty close.
Yeah.
Just, hey, shut up.
Yeah.
It's usually a dad that will do this, not a mom.
No, my mom was
I mean,
she was invested.
Look,
That's
moms
great.
are
That's
the ones
awesome.
moms are the ones you got to really have a great relationship with, as Derek can attest to in the role he was in, because, again, the investment that people make in the travel and getting them to different AAU events and all those things, man, it's a lot different than in my era when you didn't even tell your parents sometimes where you were playing because it was your thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, most of the time, parents didn't even care to go because they were too busy working and they were tired. They didn't want to go see you play. That's your deal.
Yeah, no kidding.
But now, obviously, it's very different. But anyway, to finish the story, I had booked us in the wrong hotel. We had driven to the Marriott where the Big Ten Media Day was to find out there were no rooms in our name and it was sold out. And I had booked it at the other Marriott by the hotel. So you can imagine how happy people were with that. And usually I always took the players out to a very nice restaurant. We were going to Gibson's by O'Hare. Well, the players and my assistant, Nate Weekers, got to go to Gibson's. I didn't, because I had to smooth over things. And Tom was fantastic. You know, he understood, and it was great. But then the next day at media day, all Derek's getting asked about is his knee.
Yeah.
And we never discussed injuries.
Right.
Unless we never even, James Blackman tore his ACL when Derek was there. We never even said he had an ACL tear.
Yeah. I know.
I think people knew.
Lower leg injury.
Oh, the Timmy G. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lower leg injury. Loved it.
Fifth digit extension.
Yeah.
Broken finger. Fifth digit extension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what did you have for dinner, Derek? Tell them what you had to eat.
Oh, man, I had the big old lobster tail with a big old, probably 18-ounce ribeye, some mashed potatoes. There's probably listen, I knew I wasn't playing anymore, or at least for a long time. You're shoving down a Sunday. You're going to the Big Ten. You're getting all the media gifts that you get. Like, I don't know. It's crazy looking back on it now, but it was like, all right, I could actually take a breath. But it sucked. I mean, that was a fun trip, but it was a miserable trip because, like JD said, that it almost felt like what I was doing was almost stealing the show. And, you wanted nothing more to be together. We were the number one team in the nation, but we could have been, what was it, 2-18 like we were 2 years ago. It didn't matter. You just wanted to be a part of those guys, be a part of that group and be out on the floor no matter what. So that one was a tough time for me for sure. I didn't let that. I heard quite a bit leading up to that, and then after that, it was just an unfortunate time for me. It was an unfortunate time for the team because we were really good, and I thought I was going to be an integral piece in that. And I busted my butt to get back, but nothing. Hell, I'm still not the same from that. So, just unfortunate.
Great Derek Elston with us right now, former IU basketball player, interim basketball coach, and much more. He's in Campbell's corner. We've got more coming up right after these messages. Indiana football accomplished what no other team ever has. Big Ten, Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, and CFP national champions. The Hoosiers have etched their name into the history books as the first 16-0 team in the modern era. A limited edition of only 5,000 commemorative national championship footballs has been released. 3 full panels embossed and stamped with every championship logo and fully licensed. Get your piece of history today at NICOsports.com. That's NICOsports.com.
The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC, local lives here.
If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer.
Dave & Buster's Bloomington is the place to eat, drink, play, and watch. Enjoy half-price games every Sunday through Thursday, a new menu to dig into, and next-level upgrades like private game suites, the high-flying human crane that puts you in the game, our exclusive arena, and more. Only at Dave & Buster's Bloomington, 731 South College Mall Road.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Tuesday. Jim Coyle with you as always, and it is time for Campbell's Corner. JD Campbell and his special guest, Derek Elston, big man from Tipton, Indiana. Appreciate you being with us, both of you as always, but especially you, Derek. Been with us before, and man, great stories. JD, you know them better than I do, so you take it over.
Here's another. I'm going to give you more knowledge today. Can you name the first player transaction for the NBA Indiana Pacers?
George McGinnis. I would guess George McGinnis.
Daryl Elston, Derek's father.
Wow, I did not know that.
See, that I get up every time I do this. I get up at 4 a.m. because my cat wakes me up because she wants to go out, and I don't. It doesn't. I'm sleeping much better now than
I'd keep that cat up later.
No, man. Hey, you know what? I'm sleeping so much better now that I'm coaching because I'm tired. I come home, take a shower, and I hit. But anyway, Daryl was the first transaction. He had played North Carolina, second team All-ACC guy in '74. His teammates throughout his tenure were guys like George Karl, Bobby Jones. I think they were in the same class.
Yep.
Walter Davis.
Yep.
And there were so many guys. Another guy in the NBA, Jeff Crompton. I remember hearing that.
Mitch Kupchak. Oh man.
Mitch Kupchak. Yeah, I forgot Mitch. I shouldn't forget Mitch because I'm a Laker guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But he had this storied career where he averaged 15.9 points as a senior. He was drafted in the NBA by the Atlanta Hawks, but also in the ABA by the Virginia Squires, I believe, because he played a season with the Virginia Squires. So Derek and I are talking about the documentary now on Amazon called Soul Power that he hasn't seen. That's about the history of the ABA, which anybody watching out there or listening, you have to watch Soul Power.
What's it on?
Soul Power on Amazon Prime. It's about it's just like a history lesson of what the ABA did, and the ABA is really responsible for today's NBA.
Yeah.
And just again, it's a great history lesson. But Derek, one of the things I also researched is how funny you are. And how that was brought up as a reason why you were one of those guys. It said on Cody Zeller's recruiting trip, you were the guy that could make him laugh.
Yeah. I can still make Cody laugh.
Yeah, always make Cody laugh. And when we were in Puerto Rico, Dustin DePirate did a great piece on you at one time. And again, I don't know if this is true. I read it and spit up my Coke Zero.
Okay.
But we were in
Puerto Rico. Oh God.
We were in Puerto Rico in the opening game, and we played Ole Miss.
Yep.
And your response was, "Are they from Minnesota? Is that true?" Did you ever hear that?
I don't know. Maybe it would not surprise me one bit if I said something like that. I'm sure if you talk to Corey Barnett's got them listed out. He's got a cell phone full of old stories. So it doesn't shock me.
Well, with this being Purdue week again, and you can say in your last 2 years you were 4-0. You can say that.
Yeah.
Former teammate DJ, or I don't know if you played. Did Did you play with DJ Bird in AAU?
Yeah, we played a little bit.
Okay.
Mostly played against, but we were there. We ran in same circles.
Yeah. Jim, you talk about the year before when 11-12, we had gone to Michigan, got beat by Zach Novak and the guys.
Yeah.
And they committed a really hard foul on Verdell. So he was out. He had 2 really sad injuries his senior year. He got hurt in the Big Ten tournament against Penn State.
Yeah.
But so anytime I had the Purdue game, I always brought the Indiana guys, Derek being one of them. And he gets up at the press conference and someone asked a question and they said, well, Derek, what do you think? And he goes, well, I know we won't have Verdell. He let everybody know that he knows it. See, he's laughing.
I know exactly where I was sitting. And as soon as I said that, I looked at JD.
I know we won't have Verdell. That was the game that we moved Victor Oladipo to point guard then.
Man.
And we ended up when Remy hit I just remember Remy hitting a big 3 over Hummel. And we won by 10. And it was our first win, that group's first win over Purdue. But I just remember just going like, oh.
Yeah.
Kind of like when his mom said about the meniscus.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. Hey, see, that's what I'm saying. That's the kind of thing and that's what led to bring Derek back. Another thing they said that you could make Tom laugh out loud at practice sometimes if he asked you a question.
A lot of times I didn't even realize what I was doing. Like it was just
unintentional comedian.
Yeah, it was just me being me. And it's almost like I cannot believe you would do that. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I'm not even, I wouldn't think. Like it just was like, why would you say that? I don't know. It's like a blackout. Like I didn't even know I said it. But I do remember exactly where I sat at that press podium when I said that, and immediately was like, almost like, what'd I say? Not a big deal. Like we all know.
I think Jordan gave you a nice look.
I'm sure he did. But that was the thing that was like, going back and looking over kind of who I was and what I don't know. It just, I was a decent player, but I don't know why. I just always felt like I could connect some way, somehow. And those instances where it's kind of funny, the instances where I could get with Coach Crean and I could make it, because Coach Crean he sought me out. We'd go through a walkthrough. Then after every walkthrough, we'd go back in the press room and we'd get our dinners or our meals before the game, and follow that up with maybe a thing of ice cream. And I'd be sitting there with Cody and not even think like I'm just being me. And Coach Crean would come up and he'd tell me a Bobby Capo story. We used to always just clown on Bobby. And I'd tell him a story and I'd do it in a stupid voice. And here he was. And next thing you know, like he's laughing to where everybody's like, who is this guy? Like we've never heard this guy laugh like this. And it was because of me. And it was the same with Cody. Cody would come on his visit. And then when he came on campus and he was coming to Indiana, to be honest with you, I took that the wrong way. I handled that so poorly. I think my sophomore year is where we finally got it. I mean, we weren't good by any means, but I think that our group was starting to get stronger. We started to see the pieces that were coming in. We had Will, we had Vic, we had Jordo, Verdell, Tom. Like we thought we had a really good piece. And then it was like, here's this beloved Cody Zeller. And I was like, man, that dude, like I really wanted to play the 5 at the time. I had put on probably 35, 40 pounds. So I really wanted to play the 5, outstretch, shoot the 3. And here's Cody. And I'm like, man, that's my spot. And I feel like I'm ready for it. And so I didn't really treat him, I don't know, right. I guess not really the right word. I didn't really embrace him with open arms when he first got onto campus. But the more we got into it, the more we would go through a practice and go over to training tables for, dinner or whatever, is when he would give it to me. And so I felt like we would open up. I never forget. I used to love these peanut butter cookies that they had down in training table. And I used to tell the guys, like, that's the best peanut butter cookie you're going to get. Okay. And I put like 2 or 3 of them on my tray. And then I go up to get a drink, and I come back, and there is a mound of mustard on my peanut butter cookies. And it's Cody. And then from there, it just like, I don't know, our relationship just took off. And then fast forward, it was, I was getting ready for my.
Did you eat the cookies?
No, of course not.
And mustard's good on everything. I don't think they are good on peanut butter cookies, though.
But then you fast forward, and I'm back from my last season in England, and Coach Crean is trying to work with me to get me to come on board, and he has me come down. Actually, Cody and I both went down to Bloomington and worked out because Cody was getting ready for the next season, and so was I. And I was working with my agent, and I was down to Japan and Sweden. And Coach invited us down there to work out with the guys and talk to them. And we had a great time doing that. And I don't know, maybe it was just the interactions that we had when we were on the court, or just, I don't know, Cody and I kind of working with the guys and just being active. Coach Crean really liked talking loud, clapping. He liked energy. And we were given that. And he called me up on my brother's wedding and said, quit messing around and come back and coach, and talk to Yogi and credit Yogi, because we played with him for a year that senior year. He was an unbelievable guy to us, an unbelievable player. But for him to reach out to me and, tell me that, they were looking forward to me coming back on staff because it was going to be a great season, was awesome. And then even fast forward after that, when it was Archie. And for some reason, I was kind of the guy that Romeo Langford just opened up to. And the kid was, if anybody else saw Romeo on the street, he would maybe lift his head up and give you a smirk, but he wouldn't giving you anything. And with me, I always said, like, this kid is ridiculous. Like, he is just a child. I mean, I've got photos in my phone where he's taken 50 selfies of the dumbest smiles and the craziest googly eyes. Like, I don't know. I years later, I pride myself on just being that guy to be able to relate and, help kids navigate Indiana, navigate college basketball, and just let them, give them space to just kind of be themselves. Because JD knows, Jim, like, when you get there, you're just held at such a high standard. You're expected so much, and you almost forget that you're a kid at the end of the day. Like, the stories come out, and threats online and Twitter and social media's, got a big hand in, mental health and all this with players. I just felt like I was that avenue of, let's go get Chipotle and just be stupid together. Like, let's just be a kid, smile. I used to tell all those guys. Rob Finnessy was a big guy. I used to always say, like, dude, I can't remember the last time you smiled when you were playing basketball. Like, this is fun. Yeah, we might not be the best right now, but you're playing basketball at Indiana University. This is fun. Smile. Have fun. So, I don't know. Credit me, I guess, if you want to. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's great stuff.
And it was very similar, I thought, to the role that Calvert played with your group. Because whenever you have a guy that has walked in the same path, being at Indiana and dealing with expectations, you really need somebody to, and also, Jim, having a buffer, because there were guys like Tim Garl and for them, Janae Jackson, Cliff Marshall.
Yeah.
And in some ways myself, because
for sure yourself,
you get to spend a lot of time doing things with the kids. And a guy like Derek and myself and those above mentioned guys, you can also get in the coach's ear and say, hey, this guy's struggling. Here's why the guy's doing this. I think this is bothering him, coach. And so you have to have those people in your program to be loyal. I will say this. It's better to tell people what they need to know and not what they want to hear.
Yeah.
You have to have guys who are honest.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not going to agree. Sometimes you're not going to agree on things. But if you don't have people around you that are honest with you, you're paid to make the big decisions, and I respect that. And anytime that I gave my opinion on things to anybody, I never held it against anybody if they didn't agree with me.
Yeah.
But there are people who work in high positions in many corporations that you have to tell them what they want to hear. Otherwise, you're viewed as disloyal and not part of the team.
Yeah.
Derek, I mean.
No, I mean, JD, that's perfect. I mean, to be honest with you, like stepping in that role when I was on the coaching staff, you're right. Like Calbert's is a perfect example of one, not all, like first and foremost, all you hear about is Calbert. And he'll come around and he'll, check in, he'll talk to the team a little bit. Coach Crean had him in talking to the team when we were younger. And all you heard about was how good this lefty fadeaway baseline jumper was. And then when he comes on staff, you see it. And he's cool enough to where he's like, oh, man, I'll bust you right now. And so it's like, all right, let's check it out. Let me see it. And
he would.
You couldn't do anything about it. And he's 45. I don't know how old he was, but he was older than us. And you couldn't touch it. So it was like, oh, damn, like couldn't imagine if he was us, like what that actually looked like. And then you mix that with, okay, he's down in the locker room. He's got an open ear. You don't have to BS with Cal. You can give it to him straight, and it's either going to stay with Calbert, or if he finds bits and pieces that he thinks are relevant enough to take up to Coach Crean, he was going to. And he was going to find a way to, hey, like JD said, this guy's really struggling. Maybe we change some things up here. He had that ear for us, and I always looked at it as like, that's incredible. And then Corey went from playing to coming down, and he was in the locker room, and that was a familiar face that we needed. And a lot of times, Jim, like when it's as high stress and it's go as it was for us, we were always looking for that outlet. A lot of the times it was Marnie. A lot of times it was
Marnie Mooney.
Marnie Mooney. Like we just needed someone who we could turn it off because it was so much. I mean, it was on 24/7. So you're just looking for these little pockets with people who are that close to you that see what you're going through. Just to, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just to shut it off and to just be a normal person for 5 seconds of the day.
I don't think people realize that. Derek Elston with us in JD Campbell's corner. That's one of the things I don't think people, I know they don't, because you can't imagine something that you don't know. You cannot imagine something you have zero experience with. And I know what you guys go through, but I don't know from your standpoint. And I can say that. And I think I got a pretty damn good idea, but still not being in it. You cannot, I can't, or anybody else that has not endured it cannot understand, and doing it at that age.
Yeah.
I know that I would not have handled it well. I was an immature brat, probably still am. So
very much so.
Exactly. I agree. We agree. But having someone like you or around, that's life altering, man. That alters how you go forward, how you learn to deal with things. And not having that, I think we see a lot of athletes today that you can tell didn't have that around them in their life.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I don't know. I don't know where I stand on it. I'm happy that I was a part of it. I'm happy I did what I did. But now, I mean, what's it, JD? It's been 15 years, 13 years, something like that. So even me, like I've lost a little sight of it as well. Like Brian Walsh was one of my best friends. He was let go when Woody was let go last season, who was now on at Ohio State. And so
over to Ohio State.
Yeah, he did. So I've kind of lost my in. And, one of the big things when I was with Arch, Wilshie, he came in from overseas, and I don't know what injury he was overcoming. He had gotten hurt overseas, and he was coming back, and he was staying with my wife and I, and he was working out at Cook. And, one of those things that at the time the rules have completely changed. But I was one of those guys for, guys coming back like Jordan and Will, Cody, when he would come back on campus, Christian at the time, a little bit. I was wanting to work out with guys, and I couldn't at the time. I could now if I was on staff, but at the time I couldn't. And so the Will Sheehees and the Jordan Hulls, when they would come home, they'd come in to cook. We'd get workouts in. And Will was real big on getting in the gym. And he was there for 2 weeks. And of the 2 weeks, we probably got in no less than, 15 workouts. And one day he stopped me in my tracks. We were walking across on the first floor, walking across when we go through the meeting room and out by the courts. He was like, where the hell is everybody? Like, I have been here for a week and a half and I have yet to be kicked off this floor. How is that possible when everybody is here on campus? And I said, yeah, that is the part that I'm struggling with, thinking that my role would be a guy who worked out players. And when I couldn't, and I was, ratting on myself here, but I was getting trouble for when I would work out players. You just had to keep your mouth shut and just be that kind of person to give an ear. I'm here for you and I'm here to, walk you through some situations. But yeah, there wasn't a lot really going on with that group. And Will was really, really upset about it. So it's just little things that like I was in the know with that I'm not anymore. So when you talk about maybe this year's group or, years past, not having that inside scoop, not knowing who is down there that's like me, hope maybe it was Jordan, I don't really know. But yeah, it's an integral piece, as crazy as it sounds. Like, guys who miss home and, all right, maybe coach, if we can find a couple of days to let guys go home here for Christmas break or Thanksgiving, let's try to do that. Like, that's just kind of what I did. And it was huge. And you don't realize that until you're out of it. But yeah, things like that, just huge.
Derek Elston and JD Campbell's Corner. JD, we got to take one more break, our last break of the show, and then you can take her home, baby. But when we come back, I want to talk about that. What's it like for players when there is a coaching change? And now there has been coaching changes before, but there's always been remnants of the prior staff or whatever. This was a clean cut.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that when we come back. JD Campbell, Derek Elston, and you right after these messages.
Dave & Buster's Bloomington is the place to eat, drink, play, and watch. Enjoy half-price games Sunday through Thursday, plus a new menu and next-level upgrades like private game suites and the high-flying human crane. Only at Dave & Buster's Bloomington on South College Mall Road.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
You're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area? You need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer.
Bored, Bloomington? Dave & Buster's can fix that. Eat and drink your way through our new menu. Play half-price games every Sunday through Thursday. Watch your teams on the big screen and level it all up with the high-flying human crane. Private game suites and more, only at 731 South College Mall Road.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat, on to this Tuesday, and it's been a fun one. Derek Elston, the Tipton Tornado, in JD Campbell's Corner. JD Campbell, of course, the former Indiana basketball sports information director. And What? He's got him a big donut in his hand.
It's Fat Tuesday.
Oh,
right.
Come on.
Okay, I was gonna say what? I mean, damn, that it looks delicious, but yeah, I try as much as I love donuts or things like that. I know that it's not good for me, and I'm like, damn, I'm not doing enough to work it off these days.
I hear that. Got my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old keep me busy. I can't. Very hard to get to the gym anymore, so those donuts are a thing in the past.
Yeah, working. You've got 2 kids now. How hard is it to keep up with sports?
You know what? It's annoyingly hard. Like annoying. Okay, so we at Merchants Bank, we were able to get the sponsorship deal done down in Indiana. So it's huge for me, huge for the bank. And we get down there, we got the girls dressed up. We were actually on vacation when we got the deal done. So next weekend we come back, we get the girls all dressed up in their cheerleading outfits, and we've got the suite on the field, and it's awesome. And they just wanted no part of it until we left, is when they felt like excited, like, oh my gosh, we did that. And now you turn it on TV, nothing goes on the TV outside of Bluey, like cute, something kitten superheroes. I don't even know this stuff anymore. Disney movies, like if there's anything outside of sports on, or if there's anything sports on outside of like Disney and all these little shows, they want no part of it. And it's like, come on, you guys. But they all chant the Hoosier song. They love it until you actually turn it on. Then they want no part of it. It's so annoying. So annoying.
Mr. Donut Man?
Yes.
So
yes.
Did you just have the one donut handy, or did you go out and buy?
There's 2 more. There's 2 more. My wife went out and got them. And my wife is the best, Carrie. We're going to be 40 years. And by the way,
congratulations.
Derek, please tell Caroline Carrie says hello.
Oh, absolutely.
I went to South Bend on Saturday, and I drove up to see my 2 granddaughters, 2 years old and now about 3 months. And I brought my baseball glove and a wiffle ball.
Of course you did.
And she has a glove because her dad wants her to, do whatever she wants, but he's pushing sports. So I have a video that I'll send both of you of her and I playing catch with the wiffle ball, and it was awesome. But then I had a friend who works for Notre Dame.
Pretty damn cold. Wasn't it pretty cold in South Bend?
I was wearing shorts and a T-shirt.
That didn't answer my question. You're nuts.
JD's the Terminator.
It was not cold.
He's not human.
Yeah, I know.
All I was doing was walking in the mall.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about playing wiffle ball outside.
No. We were in the house. Come on, you can't get out. Yeah, I mean, we were in the house.
I didn't think so, but you're crazy. So
yeah. But no, and Jim, to talk a little bit about what you're talking about with coaching changes, it's always a difficult because coaches, they're trying to win and build a program, and that's really what they should be focusing on. But it's keeping the family together, and we are all family. Mm-hmm. We are family here at IU.
It's of uber importance, I think. I mean, I don't care what program it is. You need to see a united front always, and there's nothing that they're fighting for, but you want to see them together. You want to see that they're still coming back. Seeing former players come back is a big deal for fans. They really like that, and especially guys like yourself or anybody from the winning teams. I mean, you guys were on some great teams, and but they love them all, and that's the great thing about being a former player. You should get to come back and enjoy being feted and enjoy that. I mean, it's a remarkable thing to have achieved in the first damn place.
Yeah, honestly, Jim. To be honest, JD and I, when we talked before I got on the show, we talked about a little bit of my time in Malta, and when I was over there first year. I went over there I was super excited, ready to go get a first year under my belt playing overseas. Wanted to see if I could do it still, see if I could still play, if my knee was going to hold up. But honestly, because of overseas basketball, for anybody listening who may be wanting to do that, you have so much time on your hands. Okay. So much time, couple of 2-a-days, but for the most part, you're a professional and you're getting paid to play basketball. So you're going to work out, you're going to practice, you're going to take care of your body. You might practice again, but you just have all the free time in the world. I remember sitting on my bed when I was in Malta thinking, like, I cannot wait to watch me some Indiana basketball. Like, I can't wait. You got Will, Jeff, Austin, a couple of my guys, Taylor Ware. And then you got this new crop that's come in and we had just went from dumpster to diamond. Okay. And so I'm laying in my bed. I've got my laptop on. I'm ready to watch me some Indiana basketball. And you were just like, wow, like what happened? What happened to what we had just let? And I think I tweeted about it. I think Verdell tweeted about it. Coach Crean actually had me come back. That's one of the things that we talked about. I put out a tweet that was like, man, it's just like throughout the season, I was just like, man, what we had done in the beginning to get this thing back on track, to just kind of see it fall off. And JD was there, so JD knows better than I, because
I would get mad at you guys for.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure we threw fuel in the fire. I'm sure. And I apologize, JD. I should have probably shut my mouth. But yes, we were giving you guys material, JD's and Coach Crean's, like we were giving material because we were just so mad at what we had just accomplished and JD, I don't know who it was, Northwestern something or I don't remember. Eastern Washington, maybe.
Portland. It was Eastern Washington that beat us.
That beat you at home. And I was wait a second. We had just done way too much to then do something like that. And that's where I was like, all right, I want to come back. I want to talk to the guys because you just don't understand. And I couldn't. I was overseas. But I put a tweet out there that probably screwed you, JD, and I apologize. But it was like, damn, man, we have just worked. I mean, we have literally broken our bodies to get this thing back on track. And then it was just right away, just boop. And I was like, wait a second, that doesn't feel good.
I know people love to hear that. And JD, I cannot thank you enough, as always, for bringing along another great one.
Another legend.
We all love Derek, and it's been fun as always. He's one that we could have on every day and probably something new, different. But, buddy, appreciate you so much, Derek. Derek Elston, for taking the time to join us. We need to get Merchants on as a sponsor, hear him in those commercials, baby.
Trust me, Jim.
JD, thank you, brother. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your donuts.
I'm going to enjoy my donut, and I'm going to hit some fungos to work it off.
There you go.
Fungo Magnus. Appreciate each and every one of you. Go out, have yourselves a great day. We're back tomorrow to do it again. Until then, I will see you on the radio.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.